Hey folks, today's episode is what happens when you take one motorbike, two jump ropes, a park full of sweaty legends, and one absolute gem of a human, Darren Johnson, aka One Bad Leg. Fresh off the July 5th jump rope meetup in London, Darren joins me to talk about what makes these meetups pure magic. Spoiler alert, it's not just the combos, it's the community. We get into flow, footwork, and why Darren proudly reps what he calls his lazy boy boxer skip style, which honestly just looks smooth as butter to me. We also talk about the real stuff, mental health, heartbreak, healing, and how jump rope became not just a workout, but a lifeline. You ever wonder whether this community is really as kind, connected, and powerful as it seems? This conversation should be your proof. So get ready to laugh, maybe cry, and absolutely want to book your ticket to the next jump rope meetup. Let's skip to it. The intro music, courtesy of Darren.
I'm only a little bit tired.
Yeah. Darren Johnson, One Bad Leg. Thank you so much for joining me on the Jump Rope podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here, mate. I'm absolutely buzzing. Absolutely.
Yeah. I bet you're buzzing because yesterday was the big jump rope meetup in London, right? And you were there. I saw pictures.
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to try not to sound overexcited, but I'm still really excited. It was so good. It was so good. I'll tell you what I think what makes it for me is the fact that so many people travel from so far away. To get people from Canada, New Zealand, Australia, these aren't round the corner. Do you know?
I know.
When I was talking to Penny, who come in from Australia, to think that she had to leave her house on Tuesday to come and jump rope with us on Saturday. Do you know,
right?
It seems like, what? But the fact that she wanted to do it was just like, this is mind blowing to me. But, yeah,
I know.
It's good to meet everybody. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's so fun to see pictures. And last year I saw pictures of it and I was like, I know that person. I know that person. And this time I saw pictures like friends, all of them. Like,
yeah, you know so many people now. We've all been chatting for so long doing it. It's been,
it was cool. I actually got a message from Penny yesterday morning saying, hey, I know you couldn't be here, but I wanted you to know that people were talking about the podcast and how, it's bringing people together. And I was like, that's such a nice thing to hear. I love that.
Well, we do jump rope, but I was telling anyone that would listen yesterday, I'm on Ditty's podcast tomorrow.
Nice. Nice. Right. Cool. Darren, you're in England, correct?
Yes, I am. So the way it's worked, I'm in a place called Bedfordshire, which is my county. And then I'm in a place in like what would be like a village called Bedford. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, it's a nice little place.
And how far away is that from London?
So from London, if we say London is about 45 minutes to maybe an hour away.
Okay.
So it's on the outskirts, basically. So it's nice and quiet. Hyde Park, for example, when we went to Hyde Park yesterday, that is roughly an hour and a half away from me. So in a past job, should I say, I have driven the length and breadth of the UK. So I've been, I've been all the way to Scotland and all the way down to Cornwall. As in one point, I did that all in one day once. So yeah, exactly, and that was work. So an hour and a half for me on the motorbike now, because I'm on a motorbike rather than in a car, is absolutely nothing. Is not. Yeah, that's around the corner.
That's nice. So what do you do for work?
So I work for a company that deals with it's school systems, basically.
Okay.
So in the old days, I don't know how it works obviously in the States where you are, but you've got obviously going to school and you take the school register and like your behavior and all that sort of thing. Any incidents you get into, I don't know, if you cut yourself or you get an achievement or anything like that, anything to do with the student being in the school, like the staff. It all used to be on pen and paper in books. So of course now it's all computerized. So we've got different systems. Obviously you've always got like one major one, which is pretty much who I work for. And then you've got like other companies so they're all competing. So yes, that's basically what I do. I work in the school services, as I said, on this program called SIMS. And the team that I work for is, the best way to describe what we do is, if you were working in a school and you had a problem with SIMS, you had an issue with it, or you wanted to, you just suggested a change to it, that would then go through the channel, through the developers, etc. The developers would then do all the back end stuff, make sure it all works. But then it comes through to my team, and then we test it as if we were a user in the school. So
Right.
it's all well and good that their changes that they've made are working, but when the user in the school presses button A, it might all go pear-shaped. So
Right.
my team makes sure that all the changes they've made or all the additions they've done don't break anything else. So we literally test all the new changes, and then what we call regression testing. So we test all the old stuff as well to make sure nothing's
Yeah.
broken. Once we sign it off, then the company can release all the changes and like the new releases and new versions, etc. So
Interesting.
I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Do you do, I'm curious, I do development stuff as well. So do you do any like automated testing as part of this? Like when the developers release a new version, are there automated tests that are run? You mentioned like regression testing, and we use visual regression testing in a lot of our stuff.
Right. Well, I think the developers do more of the that testing, whereas for us, it's still quite manual. Yeah. So yeah.
And then you just kind of feed back to them like, hey, when I did X, Y happened, and that's not supposed to be that way. And
exactly. So because it could be sometimes it literally they'll make a change, and it could be something really silly like on the screen, on the next screen, it's made where they've made the change, it's made the text too big. But of course, they're not going to see that from their end. They're just making sure that the change that they make is doing what it's supposed to do. So we've had instances where we have to then send it back to them and say, right, such and such has happened. You go onto this screen, and obviously we send them screenshots and explain to them what's happened, what's broken, or what looks different, what they can fix. And then they just come back, obviously change it, and then we retest it again. As I said, it doesn't go to Joe Public until my team has said, you can send it out. So
cool.
But I love it. There's 6 of us in my team, and we're kind of like a close group. And so it's brilliant. They're a great bunch.
I'm curious, this is totally not jump rope related, but how much does accessibility figure into your testing? Like, do you have accessibility specialists on your end that are testing from the perspective of like, what if someone had to use a screen reader, or maybe they were blind or something like that?
So we don't actually test those sort of things. That's incorporated in the software. So the accessibility is already there, but it's not something that we actually test. I have to admit that. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. I do some accessibility testing for website stuff, and it's so interesting. Like, it's so easy for me as a sighted user to take for granted the experience I have when I go to a website. But when you realize that there are people who, have websites read to them by software, and they learn how to use that software, and it can be really trippy to watch people use screen reader software to use a website.
I've seen it before. And just, wow. And even like the ones where, for example, like the control or delete button, when it speaks to you to tell you which buttons to press. And you're like, oh my goodness, I never gave that any thought. Being blasé, just doing it myself. Yeah. So,
I noticed though, as I get older and my eyes, like someone told me like, hey, when I turned 40, my eyes like overnight started getting worse. And that was like exactly my experience too. Right. Like, I was like bifocals. Yeah. I'm the guy who's holding stuff way out here just to read it,
Oh, see, this for me happened in lockdown. I promise you, right? During lockdown, I would do my videos, and I'm like this with my phone.
Yeah.
Is that no? It's not my eyes. I'm turning lights on. I'm making everything brighter. I'm like, nah, it's not me. It must be something wrong with the phone.
Yeah. Is that an I or an L? Wait, M or N? Yeah, I've done that myself. I didn't look up, but we've been connected for probably about a year now. And one of the first things I remember about seeing your reels and love it about watching you jump is your flow. Like, first of all, you're a footwork guy. Like, I love your footwork, and your flow just seemed so natural and easy and not forced, man. Like, I've watched you and I want to flow like that guy, man. I want people to watch me and go smooth. And that's what I think about when I see you skip, man. Smooth.
Well, thank you. Do you know what it is? And the funny thing is, people say you said this to me, and I was considering me as being like a lazy jumper. And the reason I say lazy jumper is because when I watch people do like triple unders and they're doing these wraps and then they're doing this, and I'm like, and there's me just taking my time. So I always call it my lazy boy style. That's how I always, that's how I always like describe it. It's just totally lazy boy. I only ever boxer skip. That's fine. I tried the whole dancing with the music, and I was like, nah, this isn't me. This is not
Yeah.
me. I'm trying so hard to do it that in the end it stopped being fun. And
Yeah.
that's why I don't do like leg wraps and stuff like that, because I've got a lower back problem as well. So
Hmm.
doing leg wraps, obviously it's fine. When you can do it, it's brilliant. But obviously
Right.
to do it, you've got to keep practicing these things. And to
Right.
keep practicing it, and eventually it's just like, no, I'll just stick to my
Yeah.
boxer style. That'll do.
Yeah, I know. I've talked to my friend Richard about this, like that idea of, yeah, I want to learn that leg wrap or I want to learn that cool new trick, but I also just want to go flow. And sometimes the flow, is just so worth it,
Just put on the music and just go with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
just go with it. But yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
So when did you get started jumping, Darren?
So we're going back to, so I think it was roughly 2019.
Okay.
So, yeah, towards the end of 2019. So
And what got you started?
I was at the gym. I was basically, I put on some weight and I was having back issues and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it's one of those trying to lose weight. I was trying to go to say, Rob, I don't like the idea of just, sitting on a diet or whatever. So
Mhm.
I've always done sports. So weight was never a thing for me until, I have to admit, until I left school, weight was never an issue. I'm one of
Mhm.
the people that could eat whatever they liked and never
Mhm.
bothered, because I was always running around. I was always moving. But then
Yeah.
obviously you leave school, you then get into an office, you keep eating
Yeah.
like you were at school,
Right.
but the
Yeah.
body says, well, I don't need to burn this off. I'm just going to hold on to that. And then before
Yeah.
you know it, your knees are aching because you put on this weight, your stomach's
Yeah.
kind of hanging. And you're like, where did this come from? And
Yeah.
it takes so much longer to get it off than it does to put it on. So,
Right.
it was just, I was at the gym and I didn't really do much cardio. I was sitting there doing, bench press and shoulder press, all these presses and pulling and weights basically.
Mhm.
And then, someone suggested, obviously, why did you take up the skipping? And then that was it. So skipping was literally once a week for me. It was just something else to do in the gym. That was really it. So
Were there other people in the gym that were skipping that suggested this to you?
no, this was a colleague actually. So one of the
Okay.
guys in my team. So in my team that I work with, there's 7 of us. Yeah, 5 ladies, and there's 2 blokes. So and it was
Okay.
the other guy. He was like
Mhm.
into the gym as well. And he really got into his skipping. He was really got into his skipping, all up until he had problems with his sciatica, and then that's when he
Mm.
kind of had to stop, which is a bit of a shame because he was doing
Mhm.
really well. But
Mhm.
I borrowed his rope. I'd bought a rope actually. I'd bought one from Amazon, the classic.
Mhm.
Just saw one on Amazon. I
Yeah.
could tell you without wanting to shout them out or whatever like that. I'm not being horrible to him, but it's one of those beast ropes, the wire one.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
because you don't know, you just go and, I need a rope.
Yeah.
I needed to go
Right.
far. So I bought this rope and yes, whipped myself and all that kind of stuff. And absolutely terrible. And then he had bought one of Rushy's ropes.
Okay.
So he lent me that and the difference was amazing. And that
Yeah,
was it.
it's like night
When
and
I
day,
borrowed-
right?
Yeah. From when I borrowed that rope, that was it. I was hooked. So
Yeah.
as I said, I looked forward, even though it was still only once a week, I went out and bought one, but I was enjoying my skipping.
Yeah.
Once a week as part of my gym work. So and then obviously we got to lockdown and gyms were closed. Now what do we do?
Yeah. Yeah. What was the Rushy rope? Was it a PVC one or a beaded rope?
PVC.
Yeah.
Do you know what? The funny thing was, I never really got into beaded ropes. So we were in lockdown, and then I got into beaded ropes. But even
Okay.
still, so we're talking now. So we've gone to 2020 now. So
Mhm.
even then, when I saw people with beaded ropes, and I just thought I'm not one for following gimmicks and fads and stuff like that. So I
Mhm.
stuck with my PVC, thinking, it's nothing. And then I started seeing people doing, I don't know, I think it was like turns, and I think I saw the odd release. I was like, how on earth did they do that? So I
Yeah.
started trying to learn it with the PVC.
PVCC.
And
Yeah.
then obviously throughout videos and someone suggested, try the beaded. And then I was like, do you know what? Let me just, if I'm into this jump rope, let me try it. What's it going to
Yeah.
hurt? And
Right.
I've not looked back. Honestly,
Yeah.
not looked back. Coach Chris. So I bought one of his ropes.
Yeah.
But
They're
I'm one of
awesome.
these people that I go crazy with it. So, and Chris would, if you ever speak to Coach Chris, you did speak to him before, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he would tell you, I bought one of his ropes, and then I bought so many beads. I've still got them in my drawer in the
Yeah.
bedroom. I've got enough beads for me to make about 3 ropes still. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's just like
You
easy.
just bought spare beads?
Yeah, and that was it. I was like, I buy spare beads, and then it was like,
Yeah,
oh, it's got so many colours. Oh, actually, I could make another rope. So
yeah.
I think I had one rope for maybe, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 years, um, and I just kept changing the beads on it.
Yeah, just doing surgery?
Yeah, that was it. The bead set. Of course, that was all part of it. That was all part of the fun as well.
Yeah,
To get
yeah.
all these different colorways to change. So yeah, good fun.
That's so funny. I was literally on his site on Thursday night, and I put a few ropes in my basket, and then I was like, beads. All right, yeah. What colors am I going to get? And I'm just putting black beads, white beads, and you can even do custom ropes on Coach Chris's site where you can tell them what colors you want, and they'll assemble it for you.
Yeah, oh, he's
But
brilliant. Honestly, he's absolutely brilliant.
yeah,
He's such a cool guy.
when you bought the beaded rope, did you get the one with the thickened cord?
Oh, the
Yeah.
first time I bought was the thinner one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, so then you start to get a collection going, don't you? So you're like,
Yeah,
well, I
yeah,
need that one now. And I think it was only simply because he advertised the thickened cord in a certain colorway, and I like the
yeah,
colorway, so I bought
yeah,
that rope.
yeah.
But I never really gave it any thought as to whether I wanted the thinner cord or the thicker cord or whatever.
But you
Um,
noticed a difference, didn't you?
yeah, and so now
Yeah.
it's always going to be the thicker cord, always.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, that feedback is just tasty. I love it.
yeah. Well, this is the thing. So I say to everybody now, when I speak to anyone, and they always like say to me, "What rope should I get?" And I only ever suggest a beaded one.
Yeah,
And I always say to them, "I say, look, get the beaded one first, because you can do everything with the beaded. If you want to go
yeah,
fast, then you can get the thinner one, and then if you
yeah,
want, a bit heavier, get the thicker cord. But then
yeah,
you've got the PVC afterwards. So learn all the stuff with the beaded.
right.
It's so much easier for a beginner, and then go on to PVC."
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I am totally with you. And I've kind of graduated to thinking, like, I've heard that for beginners, like, if you're a beginner, start with beaded. But I mean, I'm still kind of a beginner. I mean, I've been at it for a little while, but I think beaded is just so great for learning regardless of your skill level. Like just
Oh
that
yeah,
feedback and the
yeah, yeah.
and
Like
speed. Like you could go really fast with beaded.
100%,
Um, and
100%.
my sort of feeling is like if I can get fast and I can move my feet with a beaded rope, then when I go down to a PVC rope, then it's kind of like floating.
Yeah,
Like
it really is. And then
yeah,
to take it even further, if you were to then get a weighted rope,
yeah,
like the 7 millimeter or something like that, which at
yeah, yeah,
first feels like, what on earth am I doing with this? But
yeah,
once you get the hang of that and you get used to using that, when you then
yeah.
go down, like you said, go down either to a beaded rope or even to a PVC, it's literally, I'm throwing around this bit of spaghetti. What is
I
going on?
know. I know. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's so
Yeah,
much fun.
yeah,
I did
honestly.
that the other day. I've got a half-pound weighted rope, and I started skipping with that, and then went down to a beaded rope like this, and then I bought the dice bundle from Coach Chris, which is a thickened cord beaded rope, and then a 5 mil PVC, and then I tried the 5 mil PVC, and that just
Yeah.
I love the sound of that thing whipping around, man.
It just flies, doesn't it? It just flies. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah,
So now
yeah,
I'm on jump theory. I love the jump theory rope. It's
yeah,
heavier than it's probably the heaviest beaded rope. I can only say it's the heaviest beaded rope you'll probably find.
yeah,
But it's something if you like it, stick with it, and eventually you get used to it. So it doesn't
yeah.
feel heavy to me now, but I'm so
Right.
used to the weight of it that my releases, for my releases and stuff like that, when I then go back to the Coach Chris rope, that's
Yeah,
so light, and it takes me a minute to get used to it
yeah,
because it's so light compared to the other one. But yeah,
yeah.
no, those are the two. I keep the jump theory. I only ever use indoors or on my mat simply
Uh-huh.
because I can't replace the beads. Whereas the Coach
Yeah,
Chris one, I've got tons of
yeah,
beads, and
yeah.
it can take me like pretty much a couple of days to get a new set of beads if I need it, and then
Sure.
yeah, away I go. So yeah, that's how I. Those are the two that I use most of the time.
I've seen reels of you in the park jumping on a mat. Do you always jump on a mat?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I do now. L- let's face it, I'm not a young guy. I'm not a young guy. My days have been able to do all this stuff and then be fine. No, I don't know if you saw my story before we started this. I've had to ice my knee down all morning.
Yeah.
My left knee's decided after yesterday's running around, and I didn't even jump that much yesterday. I was too busy chatting to everybody. But on the
Yeah.
odd jumps I did on the concrete, my knee doesn't like
You
it.
feel it.
It gives me a bit of jip. So it feels
Yeah.
fine now that I've iced it. It's fine again. It just swells up.
Good.
So
Yeah.
once I ice it, it's fine.
Yeah, mine complain at me too. I had a motorcycle accident when I was younger and broke my left knee. And so sometimes it'll kind of swell up like a grapefruit or whatever. You know, I jump enthusiastically, I'd say. And I do dance to music while I'm jumping, right? And so there were some songs where I was really enthusiastic and I'm like slamming my heel down to the ground when I'm tapping my heel. It was like the way I would connect with the floor. You know, if I focus on having light feet, if I try to float, then I come out okay. But and even if I'm enthusiastic, I can be light on my feet and enthusiastic and look like I'm slamming. But yeah, I would hit my heel and all that energy would just transfer up to my knee. And I would go home and be like, I'm an old man. You know?
Yeah, stay on the toes, on the balls of your feet. That's what you need. Heels should never touch the floor. Heels only touch the floor when you're walking.
Or when you're tapping, you can tap them, right? Like, but you don't slam.
Exactly. You can do your heel taps and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So speaking of gear and stuff, I was thinking about the jump rope meetup yesterday while I'm out, you know, jumping by myself, thinking about all you guys having fun together. And I was thinking, what would I pack to go to a jump rope meetup? Like, what would I put in my backpack? You know, so what all did you pack to take with you?
Do you know what? My as far as jumping goes, I literally took 2 ropes. I took a beaded rope and I took a PVC rope.
Okay.
That was it. I then took my tripod that the phone is on now, which I never even used. I didn't even get it out. Obviously a towel, my sweatband that I've always wear my sweatband, just because I hate the sweat running in my eyes. And I then wipe my face every 2 seconds. So my headband, obviously something to drink, bottle of water, a little sandwich and some crisps. Even though where we jump, there's literally a cafe across from where we are. It's all in like 5 yards. But who wants to spend extra money, you know? So that's pretty much what was in my bag. Oh, the only other thing I took was my roller skates.
Your roller skates?
Yeah. I've been skating, and so I'm one of these action kids. So
nice.
I'm Gen X. We literally we lived on the street. We didn't know nothing about this indoors. Indoors was a punishment for us.
Right.
If we couldn't go out, we were in trouble. It was just like, man, I hate my life. I can't go out. I can't. So football, anything running around, my push bike, and then roller skating. Yeah, that was me. Since I was about 10 years old, I've been roller skating, and I'm still doing it.
Nice. So was that your first meetup?
That was my first meetup this year. Yeah.
Okay.
But
you've been to jump rope meetups before?
Oh yeah. We went to what are we in now? So that must be in total. That might be my 10th meetup, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been to a few, because what happens is obviously we're very lucky, and I'm so appreciative now. Obviously speaking to so many of you guys from like the States and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, I'd love to go to a meetup," but of course your meetup is literally you have to get on a plane.
Yeah,
you have to fly to somewhere, whereas I just jump on the motorbike and I can be there in a couple of hours. So and of course that's for all of us. So I've been up north, so I've been up to Manchester.
Cool.
For meetups. I've been all the way like down to London is the main one when we go to. So those are the 2 that I've been to. I'm keep threatening everybody. I'm going to go to the to Birmingham, and I'm going to go to where does Babley live? I'm trying to get Derby. So Babley is so I keep saying I'm going to shop at one of those. So I am going to get there. For me, it's a case of I love going on the motorbike. I only ever ride a motorbike. I really hate public transport. Sitting on the train is just boring. And I love riding my bike. But if the weather's fine, I'll jump up and I'll go. But if the weather's a bit rubbish, it's like to go all the way up to, as I said, to ride 3 hours in the rain, to get there, be soaking wet, and then jump around all day, and then have to ride 3 hours. So it's not the people. If it was just for the people, I'd go every single time.
Right.
The journey, 3 odd hours sitting on the bike in the rain that's not. Yeah, it's not what you want.
Yeah. So I'm curious to hear more about the meetup yesterday. Like, how did it go? How long was it? What was the format like? And you mentioned you didn't skip as much as chat. I bet there was a whole bunch of that going on.
This is it exactly. So I got there because I wanted to roller skate first. So basically, the park, Hyde Park in London, it's one of the royal parks.
Okay.
And I used to go there all the time, meet my friends most Sundays throughout the summertime. We would go there and do our roller skating. Then obviously we got into the jump rope, and I stopped going roller skating so much, and then started going down more on for the jump rope. So they would be on the Saturday. So to go down there on the Saturday for jump rope, then come home and then go back down on the Sunday. Again, it's all money, it's all petrol and stuff like that. So I haven't been down there so often on the Sunday to go roller skating. So because I don't get there now so often, I took my skates with me. I thought, right, I'll go early. I can skate up and down with my music. Again, it's just my music on. So you get the skate, they do their dancing. They've got the music on and they're dancing away. It looks great, but that's not what I do. I like to just move. I like move and flow with the music as I'm rolling along. So that's always been the way I've skated. So
Cool.
so I had a little skate up and down. I got there for about, I don't know, about 10:30, maybe 11ish. And then when I got there, funny enough, there were some people that already started to be there. So Fabian, I got his name wrong again. That's the English. We called him Fabian. His name's Fabian. But being English, we just say Fabian. So apologies, Fabian. So Fabian was there and Jenny. So I've been talking to Fabian for absolute, 4 or 5 years now. And this is the first time we got to meet. So, it's those little things that you get so excited about doing, seeing all these people that you've only seen on your phone, and then for them to suddenly be there, it's like, oh man. So we met up there, and then obviously everyone started to turn up slowly. And then you get it's not even introductions because everyone kind of recognizes everybody. Oh my God, it's you. Oh my God, it's you. So they're all like hugging and chatting away and everything. And the area where we normally jump, I don't know how he does it. Chris always seems to organize these things. He's just unlucky. That Hyde Park, they put on festivals, concerts as well. So he always seems to organize a jump rope meetup when they've got a festival on. And the festival is right next to where we jump rope. So it's always crazy. It's so uncanny. So, so we kind of go to the spot. Everyone puts their bags down, chats away, and then that's it. We just pull the rope out and away we go. People are always, and it's, as I always say to everybody, come down because it's like, if there's 60 people there, it's like having 60 coaches.
Yeah, right.
Everybody can teach somebody something.
Yeah.
You know? Where you're just learning, and you can learn a simple cross or just a turn. And then before you know it, you've learned the turn, and then you're like, oh yeah, you did such and such. How did you do that? Well, I'll show you. And so everyone kind of goes home learning something new, which they would have found harder to learn over the phone. But because that person's there, it's so much easier. Put your hand there and do that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, it's so easy. So that's one of the things I love about them. They're absolutely brilliant. So if you do ever get a chance to go to Meetup, I promise you have the best time. Yeah, they are so good.
Yeah, it seems like just a day full of unlocks of all sort, like not just unlocking skills, but like friendships and you know community and stuff like that. There is a meetup. I actually am scheduled to go to one now. There's going to be one, I think, on August 2nd in Chicago, which is about 5 hours away from me. So I'm
excited for you. I'm excited for you because I know how much fun meetups are. So anyone that's going to Meetup, I'm excited for you, honestly. I just need to mention, what's it, Nick? Nick Skips, the news guy. I always call him Nick, the news guy. I don't know if you know him.
Okay. I don't know if I do either.
He's in Chicago. So Nick and I, we talk backwards and forwards. And so he was always saying about how he'd love to go to a meetup and stuff. So when I heard that there was one in Chicago, I sent him a message straight away. I was like, Nick, there's a meetup in Chicago and you've got to go. So I've not heard back from him, but I guess obviously because he's busy or whatever. But I really hope that he goes, and I hope you get to meet Nick because he, for one, will benefit so much. So from going to a meetup. Yeah. So if you get to see,
I'm excited.
Nick, tell him I said hello.
All right, I will do that. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
You'll have a
So
great.
I guess you had met several of these people from having gone to meetups before, right? So it
Yeah,
was kind of like seeing some old friends and then seeing some people that you'd only seen on Instagram before.
exactly. So
Yeah.
what I would say is that there's a load of us that obviously met with the first, been to meetups before. So it's
Hmm.
always great to see them. But then the likes of the people that have, traveled in. So Penny and Fabian, who was it? There was Pam
PETA.
as well. Pam, I think Pam's from Canada. I think so.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm still astounded that these people have taken the time to get on a plane to come
Yeah.
to England just to jump rope with us. It's just like, that's mad. But it's
Yeah.
what's so great about it. I love it, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll have a brilliant time. And then Chris has always got. We play a few games, so it's a case of like pretty much last man standing. So he
Yeah.
does like
Yeah.
double unders. Oh, we were doing backward skip. So we're doing backward
Okay.
skip. So everyone does backward skip, and you do, at your own speed. There's no set pace or anything you have to keep. But then partway through, Chris will say, right, now one leg. So you think
Yeah.
you're comfortable doing it backwards. Now you've got to do it on one
Right.
leg only. And that
Yeah.
starts to weed people out. And it's just so much
Yeah.
fun. People are cheering
Yeah.
each other on and clapping. And yeah, it's great fun. And then obviously you win a t-shirt. So yeah,
That's great.
it's brilliant. It is
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah. And then he does the meetup combo. So you'll probably have
Hmm.
that as well to learn. So there'll
Yeah.
be, which they're never too hard that you can
No,
learn.
I saw Chris
Yeah.
post the meetup combo for London,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I
I thought I could do that. I practiced a little bit, but I could pull that off.
The funny thing is, right, Chris always does these, um, and he always puts in this, and I said to him yesterday, this was the first combo he did that I looked at, I went, I can 100% do everything in that. There's always
Yeah.
normally one move in there, and I'm like, oh, I
Right.
can't do that. So
Yeah.
when I still take part, don't get me wrong, I never shy away from it, but I then
Sure.
I hang at the back. So I then
Yeah.
stay at the front, and I'm just like, yeah, yay! And I just yeah.
Yeah.
But I tripped up like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, yesterday's one. I think there's a video coming out which oh dear, I kind of lost it a bit yesterday. I got a bit excited. The top
Yeah.
came off and I was running around with this top over my head. Everyone was loving it. So yeah, I don't know what gets into me sometimes. So I'm waiting for Chris to find that. 'Cause I think it was on someone who's filming for him. I think he's got that. So
Yeah.
that's going to come out at some point.
Nice.
I'll probably find a hole and bury myself in it.
Nah, it's all fun, man.
Yeah.
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 One of the things I just keep thinking about every time I think about meetups is when Doc Jumps, M Foley, she was on, and she was telling me that she had heard a prior episode where I was talking to Aaron, Aaron Jumps 365, and saying about going to a meetup and how the introvert in me, thought, oh, this is really cool, but I might be one of those people who's standing up against the wall with my back against the wall, like, don't talk to me or whatever. And she was saying, no, like, you got to go because you don't have to explain to these people why you're an adult that jumps rope. Like, everybody knows that already.
Yeah, 100%. That was another one, like you said. That was, and I think, what was that? That was a few years ago. It feels like last year to me. I think that was a couple of years ago. I didn't know Doc was coming to England.
Yeah.
So when I turned up for the meetup, and then I turned around and Doc was there, and I was like, that can't be Doc. She lives in Australia.
Right.
And then she got close, and I was like, wait a minute, that looks like Doc. And then it was like, and I go, oh my God, it's Doc.
Yeah. Hell yeah, it's Doc.
Yeah, so that was brilliant. So yeah, honestly, you'll have a brilliant time. I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you. Yeah, you'll have a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. We've already talked a little bit about it, but like, if you were to describe your jump rope style and your jump rope happy place, what is?
So for me, it's pretty much boxer skip. It's boxer skip. So I always love watching the boxers when the training videos, the montages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Yeah, but it was never anything that I ever thought about getting into. So when I started skipping, that was my go-to. I remember standing I literally taught myself in my back garden. So hopping on one foot, hopping on the other. As far as I knew, that's exactly how the boxers did it. So obviously you start off like that, you hop, 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 and then before you know it, your feet get lower and lower, and you just get more comfortable with it. Then the music goes on, and you start doing it to the music, and it's like, oh, actually, I like this. This is really good. So, Cafe Jump, for example, my double side swings are courtesy of Kathy Jumps.
Yeah.
I was watching Kathy and I was like, what is that move that she was doing? And it
Yeah.
was a double side swing. So
Yeah.
my
I do it all the
style-
time now because of her too.
Exactly. So I learned to jump by pretty much nicking moves off everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
That looks cool. I'm gonna do it.
I'm going to do that. Yeah. So Kathy basically showed me how to do the double side swing. I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember the lady's name now where I got the releases from, but I can't think off the top of my head what her name is.
Yeah.
She doesn't skip so much now. She does more what's it called? More CrossFit stuff now. So
Okay.
yeah, so she's still in the community because I've still got her on my phone. So she
Mhm.
posts every so often, but I think she does more CrossFit. But yeah, so from there, that's when I started getting into like releases. But yeah, I just started off doing the boxer skip, and then that was great. Then obviously you learn the little move. You see a move, so double side swing. So I started doing
Mhm.
double side swing. Then from double
Mhm.
side swing was like, okay, oh, someone's doing a cross. How do they do that? Right. Oh, I can do that. Right. So now I can
Yeah.
double side swing, and now I can cross. I wonder if I
Yeah.
could do double side swing into a cross. Wow, I could do double side swing into cross.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And so
Yeah.
it's literally piece by piece, these flows just start to go together. So
Yeah.
because these are the moves these are the only moves you know, you end up doing them a million times. So
Right.
you get more comfortable with them. So then you
Yep.
start, as you know, you build and you just start to add stuff. And
Yeah.
there was a time when I was kind of like, okay, I don't know what I can do now, and I'm slowly not getting bored, but it's like I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. So
Mhm.
yeah, and then I found releases. That was it for me.
That'll fix you.
Yeah, that was it for me. So now there is no way I can get bored with jump rope now because there's
Oh
always a
my
release to do.
gosh.
And
Oh yeah.
it's like, oh, if I do this turn, I can do release from there.
Yeah.
I can do this, and if I do it under there, I can do release from there. But
Yeah.
I think the big thing for me, as far as releases goes, was learning the double rotation mid release.
Yeah. That's
Once
my favorite one.
Yeah, once I learned that, and again, it's one of them things that you see it and you go, well, how do I do that? And I learned to do a single one, and I think if I learned to do a single one, say for example, in a weekend, just as an example, it then probably took me another 8 or 9 months before I learned how to do the double rotation.
Really?
Even though I was trying to practice it every day, I just could not get it. I just didn't
Yeah.
understand the mechanics of how it worked. And then I ended
Yeah.
up watching, was it a video of Coach Chris?
Okay.
And it was literally on his breakdown, and it was first release is waist height, and then you raise your hand to roughly shoulder height for the second release. So I preach
Yeah.
that to everybody now because that's how and it helped me so much. So
Yep.
yeah, I love passing it forward. So once I learned that, that was the key to the world for me. So
Yeah.
all of my
It's
releases.
weird how one little thing like that, like, whoops, that shift of, yeah, I just spilled coffee on my desk here. That shift of moving your rope up to your shoulder, for the second rotation makes all of the difference.
Yeah, honestly, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, when you see these people doing it all, like Samu is saved when he's doing all these over his head and stuff like that. It's like that's taken it to another level now.
Yeah.
So it's just like wow, this stuff's amazing.
It is. When Coach Chris was on a few weeks ago, he said something that stuck with me and actually really helped me out, which was that, and I'm not going to quote him well, I think, but he was kind of saying, basically in jump rope, there are a handful of moves that are riffed upon. And so like when you see a side release like that, it is basically a glorified side swing that just has, a different mechanic to it kind of. And once he said that, all of these things started grouping in my head. And I was like, oh yeah. Okay, so that is actually not so much different than this. Like when I do a reverse release like this, it's no different than me doing a forward release like this and spinning around to catch it. And anyway, it really made a lot of difference. And Kathy Jumps, actually before she was on, I was looking at her feed and I saw this tutorial she had done on releases where she was saying, when you let go, kind of tilt your hand forward. And she was saying like, just a little dipperoo, just kind of like dipperoo, in her happy little way. And that one tip of just kind of like letting the handle go with it a little forward made such a difference for me. And then I just hit them one after the other, like
That's how it works. It's always because we all learn differently.
Right.
Something that one person will say, which will resonate with you, and it makes so much sense. Whereas before, so that answer has always been in front of you. You just never saw it until that person explained it like that, and then you go, "Why did I not think of that?"
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
Yeah. I had another coach who was like, yeah, just go practice 100 times. And it's like, okay, 100 times, but I'm still hitting at the same failure rate, but once I got that one tip and it made sense to me, I was like, oh, okay. And now I hit much more often.
Yeah.
That other tip that Coach Nate gave, which I really loved, was when you're practicing releases, like practice both sides and then just keep a log of kind of, and I will honestly say, like, I don't keep a written log, but I keep sort of a mental log. So, and I have set up my seconds timer on my phone. So I actually have a timer for like release practice, and I will make myself do 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on another side. And I've noticed it's helped so much, like that just going to the awkward non-dominant side and trying to do the release and feeling like a fool. First of all, it reminds me, it wasn't that long ago that's how I looked when I was doing it over here.
Yeah.
And then when you switch back to the dominant side, the side that I'm better at, then it feels like so much easier, right?
I have to admit, I'm the lazy boy in me. I don't do both sides.
Yeah.
I know I should do. And I know there's a lot of people going, boo, both sides. You got to do both sides, which does make sense. It does make sense. But I'm just
it makes sense. But you do you, man. Like if you don't want to do both sides, you don't have to do both sides.
Exactly. So, but I do understand why they advocate learning both sides. But look, the coaches like you've mentioned, so like Nate, Coach Chris. I know Kathy, she's the coach as far as I'm concerned, because she'll stop and teach you anything if you ask her.
I call her coach.
Yeah. Let's jump. What's his name? Mike Fry. Oh, he's my goat. Honestly, he is my goat. I'm so gutted I missed missing it when he came to England. I couldn't make that workshop he was at. Yeah. So I'm so gutted, but he was the one I wanted to. I've met Chris loads of times, so I'll meet Chris anytime. But Mike, oh man, how often do you get a chance to meet Mike Fry? Come on now. The guy that invented the mic release. What? Yeah. So, oh man, it's so good.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so funny to me that like I've been involved in this community for, a little over a year and a half or something like that. And to me, I meet people like you and I'm like, this is a celebrity. Like you are a celebrity to me because I've been watching you online and going, this dude knows how to jump rope, and when I get to talk to Kathy or Coach Chris or anybody, Jenny, y'all are my peeps,
you know what? And I still consider myself a beginner. I know people might think, well, no, because you do all this. Yeah, but there's still so much to learn. And even the stuff that I do, there are many times, yes, I can do it. But there are times when I don't feel I do it properly. I do it my way. You know what I mean? So, for example, like yesterday with Fabian, and he was trying to show me this leg move, and he does it, and he's very technical. And it's really good that he's so technical because he could see straight away where my hand was wrong, why I wasn't able to pull it off. And I was like, those are the little bits you need to, take notice of in order to be able to show somebody, So when I try to explain to people, I was trying to explain to somebody how I do the tomahawk catch. And I watch it and I do it, but now me trying to explain it to somebody, I'm like, okay, so how do I explain? So all I kept saying was like, well, you got to catch it like this with your hands like that. But the coach will help break down how you get to catch it like this, how you rotate it so you can catch it. And that's the big difference. So I just consider myself a beginner still, even after 5 years. I'm still learning.
I feel like I will always be a beginner. Like you said, there's always so much more to learn. Although I have to say, like, we have to respect where we've come to, right? Like, because I've seen, like, you had a video recently, a little recap video where like this was you in 2020 and this is you now, and you've like tons of progress, and we get gradualized into it because we're out there skipping every day and don't always realize the progress we're making from day to day. But when you see those leaps in time, you're like, wow, I'm kind of proud of where I'm at,
Yeah, totally. Honestly, even then when I watched it, so I put that together, and that actually came together by accident. I was going through my OneDrive. Something came up on my OneDrive, and then there was a video of me on my little driveway that I was jumping a lockdown. So I thought,
Yeah.
oh, that'd be good to post, just simply for the fact that I've had a few people that have, joined my page, because they only know you from now. They don't know, they're struggling, they're just beginning or whatever. So I always think it's nice to show people, yeah, look, I started exactly the same as you. So although you may think that I'm really good, honestly, I totally understand how frustrating it is to trip and how you can't get this thing, you can't work that out. We've all felt exactly the same. So I do think it is nice to show people as well. So I had that one clip, and then I was like, oh, I've got this other clip, and then started putting it together, and then voila, that's what you see. But the strange thing for me was there was such a journey in all of that I got it quite emotional when I put it together. Because although you see the journey where I couldn't skip, I say couldn't skip, or learn to skip and then slowly learn, I could see the mental struggles I was having on each of those clips. So without getting too deep into all of it, 2019, I split up with my partner, my girlfriend. We've been together like 14 years. So I then found myself in a flat all by myself again at almost at the age of 50. And I'm just like, what is going on with my life? So depression started to sink in, etc. Then we've got into lockdown. So now I'm dealing with a breakup of a relationship, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And now I'm sitting in this flat all by myself. So
and the world's ending.
Whereas before you would go out with your friends and hang out and your friends would bring you out of it, we can't now. We're in lockdown. I can't do anything. So you've got all of this. So there was quite a few times I did struggle throughout lockdown where, as I said, the depression sunk in and I didn't want to get out of bed. It was only, I would take like the laptop to bed and just literally roll over, turn the laptop on and do a bit of work and then pretend I was on lunch or whatever when I didn't get out of bed. So then I got into obviously to skipping, and that was then my little release. And as you know, once you start skipping, you just forget everything. I don't know what it is. It's just you concentrate so much on the skipping, everything else drifts away. So that was my little release. And so when I put that video together, I could see all the different stages of me kind of, as I put in a comment, going through the storm and then coming out the other side. I still battle against the wind on certain times, but I'm hardened against it now. So I kind of go with the wind as opposed to battling, So
I know exactly what you mean.
I'm in such a much better place now when I can talk about it and laugh about it and stuff now. But that's what I saw when I put that video together. So it was a bit emotional for me at one point when I was watching.
Yeah, I totally get it, man. And our stories are very similar in that way. I am not to the end of my legal stuff, so I can't talk about all of that. But but I will say I understand the depression. I understand a long time relationship breakup and wondering what the hell am I going to do with my life now? Like, who am I? Like, what am I going to do? And having that depression. And so when I say that jump rope is my mental health and my therapy, I am not fucking around. Like, it is my mental health and it's my therapy.
I 100% agree with you. Yeah, that's why I could never give it up. I can. It literally, as we would say, it probably sounds drastic to say, but it really did save my life.
Yeah,
it did save my life. As you know, with
100%,
depression, you can go into such a dark place. I remember honestly saying, "Look, God, please, just don't wake me up. Don't bother.
Yeah.
Don't. What's the point? Why do I need to do this again tomorrow? I'm not doing anything. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I haven't got a clue. So just leave me where I am." But
no,
so,
I know that feeling, and it sucks. It sucks to feel kind of hopeless like that and not know, like, is there an opportunity for me to be happy again? Like, will I get out of this? Can things get better? And so that's why now, like, when I'm out there skipping and I get in that little, force field, when, like Sarah said, get that rope going, I'm in my force field. It is so much my happy place. And I am so thankful to be able to skip and be out there, that when I whip the hell out of my shin or when I give myself a welt on the ass, I laugh and I dance because at least I'm not dead. At least I'm not questioning whether or not I want to keep living. Right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's a happy bruise. I'll take that bruise all day long.
Man, I will bleed for jump rope any day.
Yeah. It's it really did. It really did save me. It really. Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you found it, Darren, because it's an amazing story and it's inspirational. And for anyone else out there who's been through that or is going through that kind of shit and thinking like, I don't know, man, I don't know if I want to carry on. The only message I have is like, just keep showing up, like keep showing
Honestly,
up and talk to people like us because we've been through it. And,
that's
I
why.
got shoulders, I
Yeah,
got big
well, this is
ears.
it. This is why throughout, we're in July now, isn't it? So in June, I don't know if it was everywhere or whether it was the UK or whatever, but I kept seeing it all over Instagram. So June was Men's Mental Health Month.
Mhm.
And so not so much on this side, on this channel, but on my other page, every few days I would post something to do with mental health because, I've been there. There's so many
Yeah.
guys that, and then funny enough, through talking through so being on the motorbike, and I go to these bike meetups, and you've made friends with other bikers and stuff like that. And I was talking to one lady friend that I've met through biking. Um, she knows of two gentlemen that were in the same situation, long relationships, split up, and these both committed suicide.
Mhm.
They couldn't cope. They just didn't know what to do with themselves. So,
Yeah.
and you think to yourself, do you know what? I could have been one of those guys. So
Oh yeah.
unfortunately, they didn't find something that they could put themselves into, so they didn't feel that they didn't have a break from it. So it's
Yeah.
constant, which is obviously why they then ended their own lives. So
Yeah.
jump rope really did save me. It really did. So
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
family
Me
would
too,
be
man.
horrified to hear that. But it's one of those when you're living it yourself, you really don't think about other people. It is you don't mean to be selfish, but it is yourself. You're thinking, well, how am
Yeah.
I going to get out of it? My phone's not ringing. This and it, you feel so lonely, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I advocated all the time. Look, speak to somebody. Just even
Yeah.
if it's your friend, is that person really your friend? If you can't open up to that person and say, do you know what? I'm feeling really bad today. I just need literally just to sit with me. We don't even have to talk, just to have some company.
Mhm.
But if
Yeah.
you can't open up to your friend and tell them something like that, are they really your friend?
Yeah.
So that was my thing on it. So that's what I used to, put on my other page. So,
Yeah.
but jump rope saved me definitely, and I love it. So I will always give back to jump rope. I will help anybody out. I don't care whether you've just learned, whether whatever it is, I will always help somebody out as far as jump ropes. Well, anyway, but as far
Yeah.
as jump rope's concerned, definitely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah. This is wonderful. I mean, I'm so glad that you brought this up because I think mental health in general is important. I was thinking about it yesterday and thinking, back in the day of my grandpa, who is passed years ago,
Yeah,
like back in the 50s and 40s when he was coming into the workforce and stuff.
yeah,
Men didn't talk about shit like that. You
no,
went to the bar and you drank, right?
no,
Like you
yeah,
drank and that was your therapy. Is
yeah,
you talk to somebody at the bar or
yeah.
over a cigarette or whatever, and
Hmm.
um and that worked for them to a certain extent. But
Yeah,
I'm so glad I have jump rope because
yeah, definitely. Do you know what the funny
alcohol
thing
was
is?
killing me.
As I get older, and it's you start to notice things, and or maybe slightly off jump rope topic, but just like in life in general, I never really noticed. Oh, you go to the pub and you see these same guys are in the pub all the time, and rare.
Mhm.
But it's only now that I'm kind of like in this situation, I understand why they're in the pub. Do you
Right?
know? That's their
Yeah.
social space. Because
Yeah. It's not
if
just
they're
about
in the
drinking,
pub,
right?
it's not just drinking. That's their social space. So
Hmm.
otherwise, these guys could be sitting at home on their own all the time. You just don't know. So now that I'm kind of
Yeah.
in that position, I understand it more. So I
Yeah.
totally get it. I totally get it. Maybe I should get
Yeah.
into jump rope.
That's right. I'm sure that would go over well. Go into the local pub with a whole bunch of pink jump ropes. Come on, guys, let's go.
Let's go.
Like, yeah, there goes Darren. Yeah. Yeah, my
It's brilliant.
my therapist is a backpack full of like 6 or 8 ropes at any given time, and we just go travel from park to park and have our own little meetups.
That's it. Exactly. Exactly. I need to actually start traveling with mine with more. I see the French jumper. Is he?
Yep.
I'm sure he's the French jumper.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When I see him, he seems to take his ropes with him everywhere. And some of the
Yeah.
places that he jumps with his, I'm so jealous
The drones.
of his drone. Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
jealous of his drone. But yeah,
Yeah, he's done a few of those like mountaintop ones where he's on the side of a mountain and he's got a drone that's tracking him as it's going around. Yeah.
Yeah, they are so good. They are so good.
Yeah.
So I'm getting
Yeah.
that might be my thing next year is to get myself a drone. That
Yeah.
might be my Christmas present. Get myself a drone. Yeah, and then we'll up the game a little bit.
Yeah. I have a few drones, but they're all very manual drones. They're not the kind that have those kind of tracking features. But I think that would be super fun to get one of those where you can like tag yourself and then go for a run and it'll just follow you and kind of keep you in frame, or go for a skate.
The 360. I like the 3. See, I've already got it in my head. So you imagine doing that on a 360. You know, like a Matrix now. So you do release and then you can slow it down as it's going around the 360. That's going to look so cool. Nobody steal my idea. That's my idea, right?
That's right. Ridley Scott, stay away. Darren's going to copyright this.
Yeah, it'd be so good. It'd be so good. So that's what do you think?
So, what's next for you in jump rope? Like, do you have any goals? I mean, obviously, it sounds like you're sold on the meetups. You're going to go back when more meetups happen.
Oh, meetups are the one, honestly. So meetups going on all the time. But I'm going to try and get to some of the overseas meetups. So, for example, Portugal. So I met Robs.
Yeah.
Robs came over to England. So I actually
love that guy.
Robs. Yeah, I love Robs to bits. And the funny thing is, during lockdown and stuff, I was one of the people that he suggested the whole thing to me. He asked me my advice. Yeah, he said, do you think it would work? And I said, mate, if you put it on, the way the jump rope is, if you can organize it, I guarantee you'll get people to come.
Yeah.
People will come. And his first one was a success. But to the point now, they seem to be so successful, he's having to limit numbers. That's how successful they are. So, you know, I can't wait to go. I'm hoping to go next year. I was supposed to go this year. I promised him I'm going to come this year, and I never made it. So, Rob's closed your ears because I'm coming next year. He's probably thinking, oh, I said that already. But yeah,
I'm going to plan to come next year too if I can pull it off. Because oh my gosh, like that magic that you get of in-person tutorials where someone can just say, no, hold your hands a little bit over here, and then you'll pull it off. Like getting Robs to show you that stuff and pull off some of those 360s. It would be unstoppable.
Do you know what I find? What I find brilliant is, obviously because we've been doing this for like 4 or 5 years now with the same sort of people. So we all started around this, around the same time and at the same level. And it's to see how everyone has splintered off into what they like. So we've all got to a certain stage where we're all jumping, we're all crossing, etc. So for example, now Fabian now leg crosses. There is not a wrap or a leg cross that he doesn't seem to be able to do. Yeah. So although I wouldn't consider myself brilliant, excellent at the releases. Releases is my thing. I love doing releases.
Right.
Either forward or backwards, whatever. Rob's, there is E360 is everything. And it's just like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Effortless for him. I've said to him, how do you not get dizzy? He goes, I'm doing this so long now, I don't get dizzy.
Yeah.
Wow. But it's just the way people are splintered off into the certain things. And then you've got like the Cathies. The Cathies do everything. The Swiss Army knives to do the lot. Oh, I could do release, I could do flow rope, I could do. Yes, Cathy, we're talking about you now.
We love her. Oh my God. And she's so positive and happy all the time. Like, it doesn't matter what she's doing. Yeah.
We love Cathy. Absolutely love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether she's being chased by bears or doing the side shuffle, she's,
The bears. The first time she said about the bear, I thought she was joking.
Right.
What? And then when she showed me this black bear in her garden, I'm like, no.
Right. Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. For anyone who's listening who doesn't know what we're talking about, go back and listen to Cathy Jump's episode because she talks about the bears like coming up on her porch and sniffing on her jump ropes.
Honestly. There's one video where she's like,
wait,
that's
what's that?
It's a bear. And then she literally dashes inside, grabs everything, runs inside, looks out the window, and there's a bear coming up her stairs. You're like, oh my God. Yeah. That's just nuts. That is amazing. So
there's some wild jump roping.
Yeah, she lives in the woods, she said. She lives in the forest, didn't she? She said.
Yeah, she's I think in northern New Jersey, right?
Yeah, so that's local for her. Do you know what I mean? That's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. What?
Yeah. Right.
She
Yeah.
sees bears like I see squirrels. Right. Okay.
Right.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Well, at least my squirrel's not going to eat me.
Right. Yeah. Not going to carry off your dog or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Well, Darren, this has been fantastic. And I just am so thankful to have connected with you. I love watching you jump, and I really appreciate you coming on to talk to me. I'm so glad you got to go to that meetup. Like, I had a little bit of fear of missing out. You know, I wish I could have made it, but I know I'll make it, you know, well, I'm planning to make it next year, and I'm sure we will connect at a meetup before too long.
We honestly, we will, everyone over here will welcome you with open arms. You know what it's
I
like.
can't wait.
We're literally one big family. We are just one
Yeah.
this community is amazing. It's the
Yeah,
shame
it is.
the rest of the world cannot be like this community, because there would never be a
Right.
war, there would never be famine,
Right.
there would never be anything. If the rest of the
Yeah.
world was like this community is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. There's
Yeah.
nothing that beats this community. It's amazing.
It is.
I don't see anyone that ever gets bad comments, right, on any of their posts. You know that person commenting is not into jump rope.
Yeah,
That's
and
how I
and
feel.
you just don't see that often. I mean,
Exactly. You just don't see it. You get some, because I know Fabian's had a few. He has a few people
yeah,
make comments about, older man, and why don't you just jump the rope, and well, you clearly
yeah,
not into jump rope, because otherwise you would understand what he's doing is not easy. Yeah. So for you
yeah,
to make a stupid comment like that, you clearly have no idea, right?
right.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
appreciate it, because we know how hard just because he's wrapping it around his leg and it looks like easy. No, he's tricked so many times wrapping it around his leg. That
yeah,
So all props. I take my hat off to everybody that does everything in this community. It's an amazing place.
yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
And
And
you,
props to
you
you as
reminded
well.
me, like,
Honestly,
what's that?
props to you as well. One, for getting started and getting into it, and two, for taking it to another level and bringing us all together.
Oh man, it's my
You know?
pleasure. It's just
So,
so fun to be able to be involved in the community and learn more about people and get to talk to cool people like you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. See,
Yeah,
we all get to communicate and chat, and no, I love it.
yeah.
That's
You made me laugh earlier. I was looking at your Instagram feed before we connected, and there's this video of you jumping in the park, and you're on a mat, and you're just kind of doing your boxer skip, and you throw a little release, and then you're boxer skipping. And there's a lady that walks by you with a stroller, and then there's a family that walks the other way. And I think there's like 4 people in the family. There's a younger girl, and she looks over at you, and then all of the women look over at you as you're jumping, and then you try and do a release at the end, and I think you fumbled the release, and then you kind of like throw your hands up to God, and they're all they're all looking at you. I was like, that's exactly me. Like, no idea what's going on elsewhere in the park. People are kind of watching, and I'm asking God, like, why couldn't I hit that release?
Yeah. Honestly, once it's a classic case of, once the music stops playing and I'm on the
Yeah.
map, the rest of the
Yeah.
world doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't exist. Unless I get a beep
Yeah.
in my ear, which is the phone, I got a message or whatever. There are
Yeah.
a lot of the times I do not even notice people. And I don't mean it in a
Yeah.
flippant or a horrible way. You do.
No.
You make eye contact, and that's when you kind of notice people. But yeah, many
Yeah.
people have noticed me. Well, I've been walking home before, and then I've had people stop me and ask me, "How did you do that?" And I'm like, "Sorry," but I didn't realize
Right.
they've actually seen me at the park, because I
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
even noticed them. But they've obviously walked past and seen me. So it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah.
I know what you mean. You get in that bubble and don't see anything outside of it. I had it happen where I went to the local Pride Festival a couple of weeks ago, and some lady walked up to me and said, "You're the jumping guy. You're the
Yeah.
park jumping guy." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah. How do I know you?" And it's like, "Oh, I I see you in the park all the time."
Well, this was it. When I was jumping on my driveway, it's like an archway. So on that clip that I was saying, when I've learned over the time, one of the clips is the bricks that you'll see. I think it's one of the first or second clips. That's the archway where I basically learned to skip. So
Okay.
that was like throughout lockdown. So because I was there pretty much every day, I remember, I'll never forget, one kid went past, one little kid went past, and he says, Mum, I want to see the jumping man. So I was the jumping man for ages. The kids would go
Nice.
past, and they'd be across the other side of the road, and I would just
Yeah.
suddenly hear them shouting, because obviously they can't cross the road, because they're trying
Yeah.
to get my attention. The jumping man, the jumping man. So
That's
yeah,
great.
I'm known around here as the jumping man.
Nice. Well, that's a terrific badge to wear. The
Yeah,
jumping man.
the jumping man. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what?
yeah, that's fantastic. Well, thank you, Jumping Man, for coming on the podcast and talking to me. You'll have to come back and we'll do this again.
Anytime you like, mate. You just let me know, message me, send me whatever, and yeah, as you can see, I can chat all day. I can chat all day.
Me too, man.
I love it. So yeah, we'll definitely do this again whenever you're ready. But
All
let's
right.
get a few more people on first. I don't want to take over.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, we'll do some group ones too, where we get a few different people on and have like a group conversation. I think that'd be fun.
No problem. Yeah, it'd be great. Be great.
Right
I've
on.
enjoyed this so much. So yeah, thank you to you as well. As I said, thank you to you, mate. Yeah. The podcast is
Thank
brilliant.
you. I'm so glad you enjoy it, Darren.
Hey, friends. Thanks for hanging out on the Jump Rope Podcast. We genuinely appreciate your spending your precious jumping recovery time with us. If you had a skiptastic time, or even if you had a pretty decent time, please smash that subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, why not toss us a 5-star rating while you're at it? It really helps new jumpers discover the show. Got friends? Of course you do. Spread the Jump Rope love. Tell your friends, your family, your neighbor, that rando at the grocery store checkout, anyone who needs more jump rope joy in their life. So until next time, keep jumping, keep laughing, and remember, life's too short not to skip with a smile. Catch you in the next jump.